Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video or in this presentation, I'm going to talk about conducting scientific research as a student, and I'm going to focus on the results and discussions, which typically occupies the fourth chapter of your research report. In the presentation, I'm going to talk about the following outline. I'm going to talk about results, then I'm going to talk about discussions, then I'm going to summarize the presentation. So let's get started. The results and discussions for most universities typically occupy the fourth chapter of the research report. So these things are typically written in chapter 4 of the research report, and this is general across most universities around the world. And in this particular chapter, the results of your research are stated, they are explained, and they are discussed in terms of the relevance of the results, to the global scientific community. And the results are actually presented in forms that are easy to read or in forms that are easy to analyze, such as in diagrams, in flow charts, in graphics, in tables, etc. And the content of the results must always correspond with the objectives and the methodology, because each objective must have a corresponding method that must help to lead to a corresponding result. So that link, that chain link must actually exist from your objectives to methodology to your results. And the results may be presented separately or may be presented in combination with the discussions. Although some universities may have their own preference as to how these should be presented, either way is scientifically acceptable. So they can be presented either separately and discussions also presented separately, or the results, for each objective can be lumped up with its own discussions, and each one of them is acceptable. The discussions, which is also presented in the same chapter 4, may be presented with the results or also may be presented separately. And in the discussions, as a student, you must explain the details of the results, and the implications of your results for the global scientific community. And you must also describe how your results relate with the results of other studies, whether there are similarities, or whether there are differences. And what does this mean? If there are similarities, what does it mean for the global scientific community? And if there are differences, what does it mean for the underlying principles and for the global scientific community? And here in the discussions, you must also be able to compare your results with the results of other studies. And at all times, your discussions must be related to your results. And your results must also be related to your methodology and your objectives. So that relationship right from objectives must be there. Each objective must have a corresponding method, which is leading to a corresponding result, which is actually being discussed. So the discussions would also flow for each objective and each method and each result. And a well-written result and discussion session in your report, will help the reader to understand the context and the implications of your results to the global scientific community. And then it also helps the reader to understand what knowledge your work or your research is actually adding to the world. So in summary, the results and discussions typically occupy the fourth chapter of your academic research report. And the results and discussions can be presented together or they can be presented separately. And the main aim of the results and discussions, is to explain the results of the research and the implication of the results, for the global scientific community. What the results actually mean, for the global scientific community. And the results are also compared with other studies, and the results are also discussed in relation to the differences and similarities with other studies, the implications thereof, and what additions to global scientific knowledge your work or your research is bringing on board. And at the end, once your results and discussion sessions is well written, this should be able to help whoever is reading your work understand your results and the scientific importance of your results, to the world. So this brings me to the end of the presentation. Thanks so much for watching.